we've sat here, and it's not like we've gotten to where we ultimately want to get yet or where we think we will get, but we've sat here we've done this show for almost 4 years now, September of 2021. And it's been down only since we started our show. I mean, we were another show born out of the bull market, basically. And, we've been here really the whole way. And we've been talking about this kind of a move out of nowhere, neck break speed, hockey stick type move this whole time, about how it can eventually happen. Now, it's happening way later than anybody expected, really. I mean, this cycle has not behaved at all like 2021. I was just talking to somebody the other day explaining how this cycle is really not even comparable to 2021, much more like 2017 in terms of like Ethereum, especially. Now, Ethereum, a much more mature asset at this point, 8 years later. But let's talk real quick. I know we talk about this weekly, but what do you think about timeframes here, though? I mean, I know you kind of talked about it a little bit there, but as far as ultimate top, I'm with you. You just talked about 150K BTC by the end of October. I think that's definitely possible. Maybe we can even work in another topic into the conversation here, and that is in mid-September, 17th or 18th, I think, is when the Fed meets again for FOMC. There's a 95% chance the market suggests that we will see a rate cut. I assume that would be 25 basis points, but hey, what if it's 50? I mean, that would really, I think, set people on fire. I don't think that's what they're expecting. But that said, I will say this, because we know how those things are usually sell the news events. We maybe we're bullish right now. We may see for the next month just up only. I think that's what we might see right now, because you think about it, we see the data out there. Literally 95% of people think that there will be a rate cut in mid-September. We've gotten this CPI numbers came out the other day. The inflation numbers were cooler than expected. No one really believes that bullshit anyway, but the numbers were better than expected. And Powell is totally up against a wall at this point to cut interest rates with the CPI and then that horrible labor report that they got. Yeah. Which Powell himself it's not just Trump. Powell himself was talking about how amazing the labor numbers were going to be, and they were trash. So I think they're definitely cutting rates. And that, as I'm working this out with you live on air, I feel like we're going to see up only until then. I think we're probably going to see, I mean, to say an Ethereum all-time high by then, I mean, it could happen tonight, literally. So,
we are that close. And I honestly think, that is what so how things always get priced in. Almost always people front run it, and that's what happens. And that's what we're, I think, seeing now is they realize that it is a 95% chance of a reduction. You're going to see that in the charts now, because they are trying to get ahead of it. So, when you hear people say, well, it's priced in already, that's why, because people take the leap of faith in doing so now, where it does become priced in at that point. The day it happens, that you may not see a whole lot of action, because we expected it 3 weeks, 4 weeks before that. So that's what we're seeing now. Again, we don't want it to get too overheated, because it will correct, and it should. It's never healthy to do the hockey style charts that you sometimes see, because they will come back down just as hard as they went back up when the buys can't keep supporting that action, right? I mean, if the price runs away too quickly, people miss out on it, they're not going to buy. So it stops going up. And then when it stops going up, people are like, oh, maybe that was the end. And then they start to sell. So that's why it will come back down as quickly as it goes up. And that's something that you really don't want, right? You want a nice, steady increase with some pullbacks, some consolidation patterns, and then have it run up and then consolidate a little bit where everybody's comfortable with that price. They get used to it. They get used to waking up and seeing 5,000 ETH or $5,000 ETH every single day. People get accustomed to it. That becomes normal. I mean, that's really what we're looking for. And but again, I do think you're going to see a nice little run up until the rate cuts, only because people are getting ahead of it.
Yeah, I'm with you. On that note, so that's 4.5 weeks away basically until those rate cuts or the FOMC happens, where we presume there to be rate cuts. But what do you give me an ETH and BTC target by then? Because I have a feeling that we're going to continue to run into them. Like I said, what do you think for those two about in about a month? We'll say.
Well, isn't that September? Like I said,
Yeah.
What did I say earlier? End of
Well, you said by
October.
the end of October. Yeah, I just mean literally because I think that we will see a bit of a sell off after the rate cuts. I just wonder, like, because we're getting. I don't want to get too granular talking about month to month, but I mean we are getting to that point where it's like this is all beginning to happen fast now. You know what I mean?
I don't know, 4 weeks. I think, when we hit that all-time high, I do think we're going to meet a little resistance. It's going to be tough to break through it, but once we do, I think it will go pretty hard. I could see August. Let me see here. How far out is it? September 17th, 18th, 20th, something like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're looking that far. I could see 60, 62, 6,400 by then.
For Ethereum?
If things continue to run, obviously we're going to want to pull back and consolidate, but that still leaves a week or so to have a pattern kind of like this, where it did cool off and it stayed still and it went down even a little bit and then took right off and blew right past that old one. So, I think to throw in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days in here somewhere to cool off and then continue. I think that's between 66,000 and 6,400. I think that's a fair target for September 20th ish. It's really not that much. Unlike it, I mean, in the grand scheme of things. Now, as far as Bitcoin, I would have no guess on what happens.
That's tougher. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking September in here, I don't know, 130, 135 or ish, maybe by then.
Yeah. So, I can see that, or even like you said, I mean, I could see BTC correct a little bit. Ethereum, though, I don't think we're going to see corrections yet. I mean, because, and that was the other point I wanted to ask you. So now we are just pretty much on par with an Ethereum all-time high. How fast? I mean, you kind of answered, I guess, with what you think we'll do heading into September. But I mean, talk about how quickly, once you get into that price discovery mode, and especially because Ethereum, the slingshot's just been pulled back so far for so long. Everybody's calling it dead. It's been a Bitcoin only cycle and everything. People shorting Ethereum at $4,000, and look how much it just totally blasted through that. I mean, yeah. I mean, just talk about how quickly when you get to price discovery like that and you get to new all-time highs, and especially the uniqueness of Ethereum being suppressed for so long.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's going to blow,
Well, something strange too that we have to really put into consideration. Last cycle, I'm sorry, when Ethereum ran, everybody was buying the NFTs. All the liquidity for the NFTs was on Ethereum. So people were buying a ton of Ethereum and then switching it into NFTs, which clogged the network like crazy. People were having to pay outrageous fees, which means they had to buy more Ethereum to pay the fees to do the transactions. So it became a very vicious cycle. Now, this cycle, what are we at? 1, 2, Gwei? I mean, I haven't even looked at it today. Yeah. I know you had mentioned it was 2 last night or something like that. Got down to 0.7 at one point. So, yeah, we haven't seen that unless that problem has been fixed. We may not see the crazy fees, or we're gonna have to see something that really jams up the network. We've got so many alternative chains now that people are doing stuff on Base Network, on Sui, on Pulse Chain, on there's all these other networks, Solana, where a lot of the meme stuff is happening. It's not all on Ethereum like it used to be. So I don't know. I think we still need a gray swan, black swan, gray swan, whatever color swan.
Pink.
Yeah. So we're going to need something, right, to be a catalyst for it to just go off. But it doesn't stop it from having a nice steady climb. And I honestly think that's more sustainable anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gwei, to your point, at 0.85 right now. I mean, it's funny because last cycle, or in the bear market even, I mean, like I remember like 2022, I mean, Gwei would be like 8 or 10, and you were like, oh, hell yeah, cool. I'll get some stuff done on Ethereum. Gwei's in the single digits. Right. Now it's been so low that they incorporated decimal points.
Decimal points, yeah.
So it's below 1 in August of 2025. I don't think anybody would have expected that to be coming. Swaps are $2, $3 right now, which still is not good. I mean, you don't want to be paying even that much, but